Welcome back to Flipping Pages, Stirring Sauces. If it is your first time, welcome. Tawada and gratitude to those of you who have liked, shared, subscribed, and commented. My deepest gratitude for your comments. Tonight or this morning, I was going to be talking about Haiti, iridium, and why the Creator said, do not make any contracts with them. But as I sat down to video, I was pulled in a different direction. I don't ask questions. I just follow what I'm instructed to do. So I'm supposed to be talking about energy and the power of forgiveness. Wow. And I thought to myself, what am I going to say about energy and the power of forgiveness? Do those two even go together? And it was like just right. So I'm going to share with you what I wrote. And I think this might be, maybe somebody needed to hear this. So sometimes we pray to the Creator to send us a life partner, but then that partner doesn't show up. And we start to doubt the power of our prayer. Or we think that the Creator didn't hear us. Don't ever doubt the power of your prayer. And the Creator hears us. Know that sometimes our prayers are delayed because there's always negative energy that is trying to get between us and the Creator. Do not keep praying to the Creator over and over about the same issue. Say your prayer once and believe that it is heard and leave it there. Energy works the exact same way that the physical world works. Two people cannot occupy the same space at the same time. Two types of energy cannot occupy the same space at the same time. When you ask the Creator for something, make sure you have space for the Creator to place that energy in. There are a lot of people walking around with pent-up negative anger and asking the Creator to bring goodness and positivity into their lives. Oftentimes, the Creator sends that goodness and that positive energy into our lives. But when it arrives, there is nowhere for it to go, because the old negative baggage, unforgiveness, and bitterness that we've been carrying around since kindergarten, from the 20 people who have hurt us and they've hurt us and have made us angry, and that negative energy, that negative spirit is sitting there occupying your space, having a party. So when goodness and positivity shows up, there is nowhere for them to go. So they wait and wait and wait for you to cut out that negative energy out of your life, so that the positivity and goodness that we've asked for can enter. And sometimes people wait forever. Positivity and goodness is knocking at the door, but because they have so much pent-up negative anger, they cannot hear or feel or see the positivity, and so they die waiting for that positivity to enter their lives. If you want to surround yourself with good energy and enjoy all that the Creator wants you to enjoy, you need to start releasing negativity. Put down your burden of bitterness, anger, and hurt. While you're asking the Creator for that life partner, ask for forgiveness and ask for a clean, gentle, humble heart. Ask the Creator to take away the bitterness and pain, so that when that partner or good energy shows up, you have a place to put it. I'm going to tell you a little story, a personal story. When I was 16 years old, I met a 19-year-old man. And from the minute I looked into his eyes, he had amazing eyes. I fell in love with his eyes and with him. I don't think I had ever looked into anybody's eyes before. And by the time I was 19 years old, that man had put me through so many different types of pain and anger and hurt. And he never apologized, but I forgave him because I loved him. And I know that age might be, some people might be saying, well, that's a young age to be in love with somebody. I loved him. And that relationship went on until I was almost 19 years old. And at that point, we had a serious breakup, and he knew it was over and I knew it was over. And as a result of his behavior, he decided to make a positive change in his life. And he did come to me and apologize for all the wrongs that he did and ask for forgiveness. And I forgave him. But even though the anger wasn't there anymore, the hurt and the pain was still there. And the love for him was still there. And even though we didn't have a relationship anymore, we remained friends, and we would talk on the phone on a regular basis, but we didn't often see each other. Once in a while we would run into each other. And when I was 24, my life changed, and so the relationship between him and myself changed a little bit, and we hadn't seen each other for a year, but we had spoken on the phone. So when I was 25 years old, I got a call from him one day, and he said he needed a favor from me. And I said, sure. He said that it's something that he would like to talk to me in person about, and that he was engaged and bringing his fiancée. I didn't even know he had a girlfriend, never mind a fiancée. And so I invited them to dinner. And when they arrived for dinner, she was pleasant, pretty. And we had dinner, and after dinner I asked, so what was the favor that you wanted? And then they said to me that they wanted me to be maid of honor at their wedding. Now, I was still pondering the question when I heard myself say, yes, I will do it. Then I wondered, where the heck did that come from? But anyway, we talked about the date was already set for the wedding. So we had to discuss boutonnieres and wedding gowns and maid of honor dresses and bridesmaids dresses and bouquets. And so we discussed all of that, and of course I was involved with all of that. And as the wedding day drew closer, I thought, what have you gotten yourself into? You can't do this. You can't just hand the man that you're in love with over to another woman and watch them pledge forever to each other. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to walk in the path that I'm being led. And so the wedding day came, and we're at the church, and it's like, how am I going to do this? Mind you, I had no malice in my heart. I had no hate. I had no anger. But the pain was still there, and I was still in love with this man. Anyway, the bride was in a room having a private conversation with her future mother-in-law and her future sister-in-law. So I was left alone. And then the groom made his way over to me and complimented me on my hair. And then he proceeded to ask me if it was real and if it was all mine. And before I could respond, he had run his fingers through my hair. And I was taken aback by that, because I thought to myself, is this man really changed, or is he the same old Casanova that he used to be? And should I leave and ruin this day? And but something said, you're here to do a job, and you need to get that job done. Focus on the task at hand. And when he met me, I had this much hair on my head on purpose, because you get up in the morning, you wash it, you dry it with a towel, you pat it down, and you go. You don't have to worry about anything. But shortly after I met him, I started wearing my hair in braids or cornrows, and him running through his fingers reminded me of the first time in 3 years that he had seen me with my hair out of cornrows and braids. And I had a date to go to a convention at a church, and this date was with a male friend of mine who had come back into my life. And it was just friendship, and he was taking me to this convention at his mom's church. So I went all out, got dressed up, got my hair done really nice. And my roommate, who wanted to cause trouble, called my ex-boyfriend up to tell him that I was going on a hot date. And so I didn't know anything about this. So when the buzzer went off for the door, I opened the door. And then when there was a knock on the apartment door, I opened the door. And only to see my ex-boyfriend standing there. He didn't recognize me until I asked him what he was doing there. And then he was kind of surprised. Oh, I didn't recognize you. And then he said, well, you're looking nice. You never got dressed up like this for me. The entire time we were together, you had braids in your hair. And he proceeded to rake his fingers through my hair to mess it up. And then my real date got off the elevator. The door was wide open. So he walked in and saw my ex-boyfriend carrying on. And, he basically said to him, I'm taking her to church, and the only reason you ended up with her is because I was 15 minutes late. And then my ex-boyfriend I could see him thinking, and then he apologized and left. And but we still stayed in touch, and so I was reminded of that event. This is why I was going through the thought process I was going through, should I stay or should I go? Because why is he doing this? He's about to get married. But anyway, it was time for the wedding to get started, and the bride-to-be wanted me to walk behind her to make sure she looked amazing from the back. So in essence, I was the last person to get to the altar because I was walking behind her, fixing the train on the wedding dress and making sure she looked fantastic and amazing from behind. And the minute I handed her off to him, I felt a release. I felt a light. I felt like a burden had been lifted off of me. And I knew that my smile was real and that there was no malice in my heart. There was no jealousy. I was happy that he had found somebody to love and that he had found somebody to love him. And from that moment on, what I felt for him was brotherly love, and I felt sisterly love for her. And but it was an amazing feeling. We are still friends today. I'm still very good friends with the woman he married. Still very good friends with him. But that day, I was released from so many things. I felt as light as a feather. And in performing that act, it helped me to make other changes in my life that led to other changes, that led to other changes, that led to me giving birth to the most amazing, beautiful, two of the most amazing, beautiful souls on this planet. And I am so grateful and happy that they chose me to be their physical mom. I have two amazing boys, and when they were babies, and they were at the stage where they were walking, every 15 minutes I could hear footsteps coming to wherever I was, and I would get a hi mom and a wave, and then they would be gone. And then 15 minutes later, the same thing would happen again. And now they're both in their 20s. And when they come through the door, after they've washed their hands, they make a beeline for me to say, hi mother, or hi mom, or sometimes I get the very formal mother. And there are times when we would be in my bedroom dancing for hours, or I would be in one of their bedrooms with them having a conversation, or I would be in the other one's bedroom. Sometimes when I was in the older one's bedroom for too long, the younger one would come and pick me up and put me over his shoulder and take me into his bedroom and say, oh, you've been in there too long. And even in their teenage years, they still wanted to hang out with me and do fun things. And we still hang out and play cards and play dominoes, and we don't dance as much. And they used to play the piano for me and sing, and we have a fantastic time. And because I was able to put my hurt aside and put that burden down that day when I stood for my friends, it led to so many other positive things in my life, because the Creator said, you think you were happy over there? I have something much better for you over here. And when it was time for my children to make that journey from the spiritual realm into the physical realm, there was room in my heart and space for their energy to enter into my body so that I could give physical life to them. So, yeah, I still believe this was a message for somebody. Please find it in your heart to forgive, forget, and put those burdens down and get rid of that negative energy so the Creator can fill you up with goodness and positivity. And once again, my gratitude to those of you who have liked, subscribed, shared, and commented. And please continue to do so. I give you my peace. I give you my ahab. Until next time, shalom. No cherry pie tonight or this morning.